right, 3 battle series. We've gone through every single Gua with every single battle. We've gone through all 8 Guas within the battle of hands, legs, and balance. Now, the key of all this is to weave it all together into a cohesive whole. Because, as you know, fighting, you don't have time to be like, okay, let's battle with our hands. Okay, let's battle with our feet. It won't be like those moments where you see in the Kung Fu movies where they stop up here and they, you know. This all has to happen at the same time. So at the same time that I'm here, I'm also affecting here. Because in the same way, right, this was my water Gua affecting up here, slipping by. This, right, could be interpreted as mountain if you're bumping like this, or if you're sweeping, right, could be wind. And then for your battle of balance, I walked through, and that was my heaven Gua, the overwhelming, right? Because heaven within the battle of balance is this overwhelming press through, whereas with the battle of the legs, the wind Gua is the sweeps, picking them up in the wind, or if it's mountains, you're bumping their stance, bumping from below, while the hands weave their way through like water. You could even interpret that as earth because I'm not giving him something to land upon. So that was an example of using these all together in a single technique. So one thing that you can practice is to say, okay, I'm going to try and make an application using this Gua for this strategy, right, for this battle, while trying to do the same for this one. And you can start with 2 at a time if you want to, or you can start with 1 and then work it up to 2, and eventually all 3. So I would say start with like 2, because it's learning how to bring these into a cohesive whole while not overwhelming you all at the same time. But naturally you'll start to see how even affecting 2 will affect all 3 in the long run. And one thing to be wary of is to not get into the habit of only doing 1 Gua at a time. So if we take fire, for example, right? We talk about how fire, right, is like damage the limbs, right? Everything is just going to damage the limbs. Or if he throws, right, I can break the joints, bam, right? Same thing with the legs, right? As soon as we start to do this, it's all kicking joints, stomping, right? All things like that. And then with the battle of balance, it was all boom, percussion. Then that leads into your throw. So it is a fine idea to do that all lined up, right? Where we could say, bam, right? This is meant to smash. This is meant to break the joints. This smashes through. Then I'm getting my battle of balance by starting to move through, right? So all this can happen at the same time, but if you get into habits of only doing 1 Gua at a time, you can end up being predictable. Whereas if you are only smashing, right? They kind of get to this rhythm, especially if they're good, where they know what you're doing, right? Oh, he's just trying to smash me. I just gotta avoid that. Or he's trying to pull me in, and he's just trying to pull me in. So maybe I gotta think about that, try to counter that. If you only think about this one strategy at a time, you can get picked on by much more experienced practitioners. So I would say, try to weave different Guas within the different battles. So I could say, smash through with heaven with my upper body, then I could pull through using leg to withdraw. At the same time, right, I attack the battle of the balance by using his own force against him, because this force actually was my force through him, right? Because as I draw him in, right, his body weight is coming towards me, so I just redirect that. So in a way, I just used the earth Gua there. So we had heaven, lake, and earth all at once. So you can just play with, just say, okay, I'm going to use water Gua. And then for the legs, I'm going to do fire Gua, right? So in this way, where I can slip by while attacking with the fire at the same time. And I can say, okay, now I'm going to overwhelm with heaven to the hands Gua, or the hand battle. And then I can use earth to bump his stance. So think about it in these kinds of ways. Just try and mix things up. It'll be confusing at first. Absolutely, it'll be confusing at first. But the more you get repetitions in there, it'll become easier, and it'll start to become more natural. You'll just start doing it, and you won't even realize you did it until after you're done and you're like, oh, I was doing that Gua there, right? So just repetitions, put everything together. If you need to, review the old videos to see the strategies, and then try and weave it together into a cohesive application. All right, that's it for this series. See you in the next one.